my name is Rachel and today is day 12 of Vlogmas, and I thought for today I would talk about one of my goals for 2018, as it is nearly 2018. All my other goals are pretty chill. I just read some graphic novels or read some non-fiction. Like, that's literally all I'm going to do. I'm not going to be putting pressure on myself this year. I'm not going to be trying to read a certain amount of books in the year. I'm just going to be having a chill year, and it's all about me enjoying the books that I'm reading. I just haven't had a good reading year, and I think it's because I've put a lot of pressure on myself with reading. So I'm not going to be doing that this year. The only goal that is a little bit more difficult is this one. However, it is a goal that I'm so passionate about and that I thought of about 2 months ago and have just been so excited to get started on. So this year, I bought a lot of the Jane Austen vintage classics. The only one I haven't bought yet is Northanger Abbey. So once I have that, I will have all of them. And I really wanted to read them this year. And as I mentioned in that other video, I had been finding it hard to read classics this year because I had this I want to read 100 books thing, and it meant that I was trying not to read a lot of classics because classics do take me longer to read, and that was really annoying. And I got my beautiful vintage classics and just wanted to read them, wanted to consume them completely. That's actually the same as I got the Anna Karenina vintage classic edition for my birthday, and I just wanted to consume it all at once, but I knew that I had this limit and I didn't want to read books that would take me too long, which is stupid, and it meant that I've not had a good, enjoyable year because of it. I have mentioned this a lot in the other video and I'm just reiterating things I've already said, but what I'm trying to get to is that something that I really put off this year but wanted to do was read my Jane Austen books. So that is my goal for 2018. What I am intending to do for 2018 and with my Jane Austen reading is that I want to read all of her novels and then one extra little bit. And I want to read them in publication order because there are two that I've already read. So I've already read Northanger Abbey and Pride and Prejudice in the past, and I do want to reread them. I've wanted to reread Pride and Prejudice like forever because I read it such a long time ago. And then I want to reread Northanger Abbey. I was really surprised by it at university because it's very satirical and it's very funny, and I wasn't expecting that, and I think I didn't appreciate a lot of it because I didn't really see what she was doing until about, I don't know, like 50 pages in or 100 pages in. It was when I started like, oh shit, this is really cool, this is impressive. But obviously I'd missed a lot at the beginning, and because I was doing it for an exam as well, I just feel like I didn't just take that time to enjoy it. So it is one I really want to reread, and I kind of just want to read as they were published. I've not really read an author fully in publication order before, and I think it would be really interesting to kind of see how a writer grows through their canon. And so it is something that I'm really, really excited to do, and I'm planning to do in 2018. So I do have a little bit of leeway on some of the books because when they were written and their publication dates are a little bit different. So I'm going to be hopefully running with a few of her writing dates instead of publication for a few of them, just because I think it will be counterproductive to do it the other way around. So yeah, and this video I'm just going to show you the books that I have and tell you a little bit about them and about why I'm excited to read them. So the first book that I have is the only one that isn't actually a novel. This is Jane Austen's The Beautiful Cassandra. This was published as part of her Juvenilia, the first volume, and everything in that volume was written between 1787 and 1793. So the writing date of this is around that time. And this is basically, well, her sister is called Cassandra, and this was basically just written for her family and for entertainment and stuff like that. But this is like the thing that I have that's the first proper writing of Jane Austen. So this is the one that I want to start with, and I think it'd be really good to start with because it's quite short. I feel like I could read this at the very beginning of January and be like, okay, the goal's going well. One of the reasons that I even know about this is because of Becoming Jane, and I Oh, I love this film. It's got James McAvoy and Anne Hathaway in, and I would highly recommend it. Not just if you're a fan of Jane Austen, but just it is a very enjoyable film. It's very good, especially if you like period dramas. And I love it. And in that film, she reads a little bit of The Beautiful Cassandra out to a room of people, and it always makes me want to read this. So I'm actually really excited to read this. I'm not planning to pick up her other juvenilia. I'm just planning to read the novels because I think that's enough, to be honest, for the year. And then maybe I'll aim to pick them up in 2019. I don't know. That's a long, long time away. But yes, so I have this one. And then the next one I have is Lady Susan. Now, this is a novella published by Austen. And I'm quite interested to read this because it kind of sounds like it follows a very non-Austen-like character. So apparently Lady Susan is devious, adulterous, and an anti-heroine, which is just not something you get in Austen books a lot. And I'm just really excited to read this one. Now, this one wasn't published till 1871, which is obviously after her death, but it was said to be written in 1794, just after Beautiful Cassandra. This was published as part of her second volume of Juvenilia, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this one and really wanted to include it. And then after that one, it's all her actual novels. The next book is the only one of the vintage classics that I don't yet have. So I do have Northanger Abbey. I think I have like 3 copies of it at home, and I have a really good Naught and Critical edition that I used for university. But I want to get the vintage classic because I have all the others, and so it's bugging me that I don't have that one. So I will be buying that at some point. And yeah, I'm really excited to reread Northanger Abbey. As I said before, it is a book that I just adored. It's so funny and satirical, and she just mocks this like gothic genre that was becoming so popular at the time. And I loved that about it. Now, it's said to have been written between 1798 and 1799. She then sold it to a publisher in 1803 under the name of Susan, I think, and they never published it. So then when she was older, she bought it back off that publisher, and then it wasn't published until after her death in 1817, and it was published by her brother Henry Austen. Northanger Abbey is about Catherine Morland, and basically she goes to stay with some family in Bath, I think it is, and it's all about her and these people that she meets and a man that she meets, and like she goes and stays with his family for a little while, and it's just so mocking of this like gothic tradition and all that sort of stuff, and it's just so fantastic and lovely and amazing. So yes, I'm excited for that one. So after that, things become a lot easier to navigate. So then we come on to her first published novel, and that was Sense and Sensibility. Austen began writing Sense and Sensibility in 1797, but it was not published till 1811. Sense and Sensibility follows 2 sisters, Eleanor and Mariana. One of them is quite headstrong and goes off, and she's very young and juvenile and all sorts of things, and her sister is sensible and tries to keep her in check, basically. From what I can gather, their father dies and they are forced to leave the home that they have known because obviously they've lost their money, and kind of go into society and try and find husbands and that sort of thing. So I'm very excited for this one. I'm very excited because I've held off watching the film because I wanted to read it first, because I've wanted to read this for a very long time. And I've just always been so excited for the film because Alan Rickman's in it, and I love Alan Rickman. And that's without even mentioning like Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet and just all the other amazing people in it. So I'm super, super, super excited to get to this one. Then we have her most famous work, Pride and Prejudice. I'm not really going to say much about what this is about. It follows Lizzie Bennet and her trials and tribulations in love. Yeah, this is a fantastic novel. I am so excited to reread this. I haven't read it since I first read it, and that was probably when I was around 15. So I'm really, really excited to reread it. So a first draft of startings of writing was happening in the late 1700s under the name of First Impressions, which was the first name that she had for Pride and Prejudice. And then during 1811 to 1812, she started to rewrite it, and it was then published in 1813. This is just, I love this book, and I'm so excited to reread it. It's such a fantastic, fantastic novel, and it's such a beautiful edition. Like, these vintage classics are some of my favourite books ever, and I love the Russian ones that they've done. I haven't got any of the Bronte ones, but I just think they really suit the themes of the books, and so I really hope to get them. So it looks like I'm going to end up buying all of these vintage classic editions at some point, and all the ones they publish in the future if they carry on looking as hella nice as this. Then we have Mansfield Park. Mansfield Park was written between 1811 and 1813, and it was first published then in 1814. Now, this is the one that I am the most worried about. So I will be reading it, but this is the one that makes me a bit like, will I like it? Because it gets a very mixed review. So I hear a lot of people talking about how this is Austen's most accomplished novel, and then a lot of people saying it's kind of her most boring, that not much happens. So yeah, I'm kind of like on the fence of whether I'm going to enjoy it or not, but I am excited to read it. This one basically follows Fanny Price. She is invited by some family to go and live with them, and I think they have more money than she's used to, and it's about her growing up in a different class than she's used to. I've just read the quote on the back, and that makes it sound like I might be right. It says, "A large income is the best recipe for happiness I ever heard of." So obviously this is going to revolve around class a little bit at least. But the next one is the one that I am the most excited for, and it is Emma. So Emma was written between 1814 and 1815, and then it was published in 1815. And it follows the story of Emma. Now, I have seen an adaptation of this, but that just makes me more excited to read it. I put this in my 5-star predictions video because I just think this is going to be one of my favourite Jane Austen novels. This and Sense and Sensibility, I think, are the books that I'm going to love the most next year out of Jane Austen's works that I read. This basically follows Emma Woodhouse, and she isn't really interested in marrying and all those things that she should be interested in. She is interested in matchmaking for other people and decides to start doing that with just not very good results. I just think I'm really going to enjoy it. The whole like mischievous nature of Emma is something that I think I will very much enjoy, and something that I do just like reading about, and characters like that really intrigue me and I just find really fun. And obviously Austen always writes really, really fun and three-dimensional women, which is why it's so fantastic to read her books. So yes, I'm super, super, super excited for this one. And then the final book is obviously Persuasion, which is so beautiful. I love this copy. This might be the shortest. I mean, I'm guessing Northanger Abbey is going to be the shortest, and obviously the Penguin Little Black Classics, but this seems to be one of the shortest. It's 301 pages, so that's not very long. And I am really excited for this book. This was written between 1815 and 1816, and Austen was still making revisions on Persuasion when she died in 1817. Then her brother Henry took it and published it posthumously, as he did with Northanger Abbey, and so it was published after her death. So this one follows Anne Elliot, and it is about her. Basically, she turned a man down because her family put pressure on her to not marry him, but it was someone that she was in love with, and then later on in the novel he comes back into her life. On the inside cover there is a quote that says, "It is a sort of a private novel. In the heroine, Anne Elliot, we have glimpses of Austen and what happened to her, the lost romance and the lost youth." I think this is going to be really, really good, and obviously this is going to be the final Jane Austen novel that I read, so hopefully this will be the best one, because it is the end of her writing journey. So yeah, after writing so many fantastic novels, this probably should be the best, but I don't know. On the back it says, "You pierce my soul, I am half agony, half hope, I have loved none but you." Just so cute. And also, I didn't mention this before, but inside So they have French flaps and they have these lovely end papers, and the end papers match the other books. So like Mansfield Park has this one, and then Mansfield Park inside has the Persuasion one, and this is the same with all of them, and that's the same with the Russian classics as well. And it's just something that I absolutely love about these editions. I just, yes, these are my main goal for 2018, that I want to read all of Jane Austen's novels, and I'm very, very excited for it. If you have read any of these, please tell me what you thought in the down bar, because I am very excited for them already, but more excitement is always good. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!